Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ball Blab. It's been quite a lot of time since our last episode, at least with me and Jason. All I can say right now is the hot stove is cooking.
Absolutely, man. We did an episode a while back. Was it Hein Bloom?
Yeah, with you and me, I think it was
Hein Bloom because the other episode got deleted, the grading episode, which I'm very mad about.
Yeah,
but
that was a good one. I enjoyed making that.
I don't know what happened, but it got corrupted. But we're here. We're going to discuss why the stove is hot, especially for the Boston Red Sox, over these past 2 days.
Yeah,
the stove is fire.
It's on high. It's on extra high, like the highest possible thing you could set the stove to. Or whatever.
It's on 11.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll start off by saying Chris Sale has been traded to the Atlanta Braves for Vaughn Grissom, which Vaughn Grissom is going to be turning 23, I think, in January.
Yep.
Has a lot of years of control, and he has two options. So it was a very high upside move for the Boston Red Sox. And to be quite frank with you, Nate, it was time for Sale to go. His time in Boston, a lot of fans just sick of it. Sick of all disclaimer, Sale, hard worker. But the excuses.
The no excuses excuse, no excuses excuse is essentially whenever he's in a skid and he's talking and journalists are asking him why you what's going on, what's wrong and why aren't you pitching well? He's like, no excuses, I suck, I'm terrible, I'm a disgrace. We were all getting tired of that, and just he couldn't stay on the field to save his life. Obviously, due to having horrible luck. 2020, it was either 2021 or 2022. I think 2022, where it was his first start of the season, and immediately he takes a line drive off his hand. Second start of that season. And he takes a line drive off his hand and is out for the season. But yeah, it's not just that.
And then he falls off his bike.
And then he falls off his bike, and then since he's kind of thin, he'll have shoulder problems all the time. It's relentless with all of the shtick with him. And I think we were all getting tired of it, and especially considering the contract. And even though with how the trade's set up, we're still paying $17 million of the $27 he would be making, while the Braves are paying $10 million. I still think that's fine, since $10 million is good to get off the payroll. And I really like the fact that we got Vaughn Grissom in return, considering that not only is he young, not only does he have a lot of control, not only does he have a lot of options, but he's a middle infielder who's played a lot of second base. And since second base is kind of the one position we're still sort of looking for, I think that's really good.
It's a high upside move, Nate. And the Sox are sending $17 million in cash. So they save at the end of the day about $10 million, which tells me...
And that's $10 million less than Yamamoto's being paid.
Yeah, very funny. Which tells me one big thing. They're not willing to go over the luxury tax, right? I think they got to find other ways to be competitive and find other trades to make. I think a lot of the key to this offseason was trading, right? We'll get into it, but most of these, or this is a fact, not an opinion, but the majority of moves have come via the trade.
Yeah. It's interesting. They're kind of treating the luxury tax like a salary cap, not just the thing where they don't want to get into the habit of going over it and they'll deal with punishments. They're treating it as something that they absolutely cannot go over, which is essentially what a salary cap is. But anyway, the good thing is, since they've now shed $10 million off of payroll, I saw a tweet from Robbie Hyde. It is a bit outdated because he said $28 million. But basically, he said with the Red Sox signing Giolito, and this was before the Sale trade, they still have $28 million left in payroll under the luxury tax. But now, since they've shed $10 million off by trading Sale, they have $38 million left, which I think really sets us up for signing a Montgomery or a Snell, one more quality starting pitching arm, because I doubt that I think the maximum that either of those guys will ask for is $30 million per year. I cannot see more than $30 million a year, and that's a stretch. I feel like $25 million is probably the more reasonable thing, but markets can get crazy, and I think it really sets them up for signing a quality starting pitcher, which I think is the big thing they need to take themselves to another level and have a good shot at making the playoffs.
At the end of the day, it's what are they looking for, right? I could see them going over $30 million if they want the short-term deal. Mm-hmm. But they're not going to do the short-term deal because they're both Boras clients.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? What does Boris do? He waits till the market's set up for them. He takes his time, no rush, gets the maximum value for every single one of his players.
Yeah.
And says, okay, here's the best value. You're going to take it.
Yeah.
This is how hard it worked. You're going to take this.
He's truly brilliant in that sense.
He is very brilliant in that sense.
He's definitely without question the best sports agent in Major League Baseball. Maybe probably one of the best sports agents in all of sports.
Oh, 100%. And a lot of what I'm personally hearing is Snell might be open to taking short term. What is that going to look like? I don't know. But at the same time, Snell's coming off a Cy Young, 2 Cy Youngs, but I don't know if I explained it on here, but I'm not opposed to a guy like Snell anymore. I used to be, but here's the thing. Snell, proven success in your division, a Cy Young in your division, and especially where and he has experience in the other league too, where he did win a Cy Young.
Yep.
But what worries me is his first Cy Young and probably his second is sandwiched in between seasons where he's had an ERA over 4.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's 32. But like, is he a fine wine that only gets better with age? Probably not. History says the chances of that are low. But look, it's at least someone who has proven success as an ace, and someone that the Red Sox, if the Montgomery market gets very big, I could see that as a pivot option, because it's like, well, you know what? Montgomery's getting high. You might as well pay the price for Snell.
Yeah.
That's my
true.
thoughts.
I think, but again, going on Montgomery, I think he is another guy that I think could really make a big difference for this team. He's a bit younger than Blake Snell, and he's really come off like 2 pretty solid seasons in a row, which definitely is a good thing. So that shows some sustained momentum instead of the inconsistency of Snell. And he's a bit younger. And it seems that another thing, I saw this tweet from Robbie Hyde, who's kind of like, he's a big Red Sox fan, one of the more optimistic around. And he says that Blake Snell might be looking more to West Coast teams since he's on the West Coast now, and that could give the Angels or Giants an advantage. And Montgomery it seems like the Red Sox could kind of just be the best fit for Montgomery, since it seems that, according to Robbie Hyde, he doesn't want to go to the West Coast, doesn't want to go back to the Yankees. The Rangers can't really repay him what he wants because they have TV issues. So I think the Red Sox could kind of end up being the best fit. So I don't know. I think it's definitely possible for them to sign him. I think it might happen. I think within the next 2 weeks, I could see them signing Montgomery to like a 6-year between 24 and 25 million per year deal. I think that could definitely happen. I think there's a good chance of that happening. I think that's that's reasonable for him to ask for, because he's kind of sort of sandwiched in between, say, the level of Giolito, who's like making $19.25 million a year, and Yamamoto, who's like $27 million a year. I think Montgomery's right in the middle, so like that sort of $24 million, maybe $25 million range is probably the most reasonable. And I think 5 to 6 years is a reasonable amount of time.
I think you start with the Rodon deal. Similar player, lefty. You use that as a basis, and he only grow from there.
Yeah.
Especially since he's a Boris guy.
Absolutely.
And the Yankees gave Rodon the money, and he stinks. So it's like, why can't he say, yeah, look, he sucks. Give me that money. If he sucks and he's making that money, why can't I?
Yeah, absolutely. That it's all about relativism in sports, especially baseball. Like, if he's making this much money and I feel like I'm as good as him, I want that money.
Baseball free agency is the weirdest free agency.
It is.
Right? And the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL, it's like, no rumors, you're signed to a team. There's no everyone's signed at the beginning of the offseason. Baseball, it's like, nope, you're waiting.
It's a waiting game. It's a blinking game. It's like, well,
John says this.
I think it's because there's no cap, because guys can just ask for whatever they see fit.
Right. John, and then I saw a meme, it was like, Bob says yes. Rosenthal says no. Heyman doesn't know.
I think it's fun though, because it keeps you on your toes, and it can come out of nowhere. It's like the weird pace can make the big moves kind of fun. That's another thing I like about baseball. It's unique, very unique. Anyway, so yeah, like back to Chris. Yeah, so yeah, Chris Sale trade I think's really good. I think we've shed a good amount of payroll. We've gotten rid of a guy that I think we're all kind of sick of. Honestly, he's kind of like, in a way, he's a little bit like the Alex Verdugo of the Red Sox, but a pitcher. Just we're kind of sick of his shtick in the clubhouse, and we're losing money. Jason's
I'm showing him the meme.
It says free agency, and then this is a picture of like a buff
the
wolf.
big Doge.
The big
with
Doge
like
with the NFL and NBA, and it says all our big free agents signed first day. No time for rumors. You're already signed, bub. And then MLB is what?
No, Woj bomb.
Is the Woj bomb. We might wait until March to sign. This team is interested, but so are 15 other teams. Heyman says yes. Ken says no. Bob doesn't know. Passan hasn't tweeted in 2 months.
It's true.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're off the rails. But let's, it's been a while. Let's review all the Red Sox.
But anyway, great. The trade's great. I think it's really
love
good.
It.
I think
a
it's
lot
a
of
very good
upside, and yeah. To Chris Sale, thanks for the World Series. Thank you for your time in Boston.
Thanks for just about nothing else, though.
Yeah. After that, no. Well, look, he only had 2 good years in Boston.
Yeah, 1.5, honestly, because I remember he got injured like in August of 2018, and I think only made like 20.
He was very important in that playoff.
That was true. That is true.
I'll say 2. Anyways, okay. So first move came right before Thanksgiving.
Worth mentioning, at least.
Right. Basically on the non-tender deadline. Red Sox trade Luis Urias for righty relief pitcher Isaiah Campbell, which it tells me that they were probably going to non-tender Urias and to get a good pitcher or a guy who just appeared in the major leagues, almost played in 30 games, had an ERA sub 3.
Yeah,
good
reliever.
A lot of upside moves, and a lot of these moves that Breslow's making are high upside. Mm-hmm. He has the balls to make these trades, not like, I want to horn my prospects.
Yeah, horn my prospects, or the price is too high.
Well, it's not even hoard players, because we haven't traded prospects. Really.
Yeah, or maybe he's just being very picky. Like he wants like this. Like I feel like with Bloom, it's like either he's getting like 1 million less than he wants. I feel like Bloom's kind of an over negotiator, and that leads to just nothing really happening, especially with some of like the rumors you've told me about him. But the good thing with Breslow is that he doesn't really seem to care about that as much and is willing to just make the damn move. And yeah, I think that shows with Luis Urias for Isaiah Campbell. Again, pitching. That's good to see. And so yeah, a solid move. Really like it, especially since they got Isaiah Campbell for a guy that the Red Sox might have non-tendered. So that's definitely a good thing to see. And then here's the big one. Alex Verdugo, kind of cancer in the clubhouse. Keep waiting for him to really break out, but we keep saying that and it keeps not happening.
Showing up late for games.
Yeah, we traded him to the rival New York Yankees, whose fans back in 2021 threw a baseball at his back.
I was at that game.
Yeah, we traded him to that team for Richard Fitz, Greg Weissert, and Nicholas Judice, who are who I would consider prospects. I think 2 of the 3 have only pitched in the minors. One has pitched a little bit in the majors, but spent most of their time in the minors. They're young guys, so it's not like they're fringe.
The most
guys.
Intriguing part is Dick Fitz. He's going to fill a lot of holes for the Red Sox.
Yeah, and come on, his name's Dick Fitz. Like that's
no. Okay, yeah.
But
here's what I have to say for Verdugo.
Yeah,
good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance. We can say that about 2 trades. Good riddance to Alex Verdugo and good riddance to Chris Sale. But yeah, the really important thing about Richard Fitz is that he's a guy who's currently in the minors now, but has a really good shot at being called up next year. So he's basically going to be ready, and he can be a back end of the rotation guy. He's a guy I think really fills some holes, has depth, and I think another thing I'm seeing with Breslow more. I think another thing I'm seeing with Breslow more is that he's actually emphasizing depth with his moves, which I just didn't see enough from Bloom at all, to put that generously. So yeah, that's another breath of fresh air. So yeah, again, I really like the Alex Verdugo trade. So Yeah. Good trade there. So now we got the next one. We traded Nick, reliever, minor league pitchers, Red Sox minor league pitchers Nick Robertson and Victor Santos to the St. Louis Cardinals for outfielder Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of that is a slap in the face to Chaim Bloom because Robertson was a guy we got for Kike Hernandez.
Yeah.
So Robertson wasn't even good.
Yeah.
Victor Santos, minor leaguer who got Tommy John and struggled before then. So kind of a change of scenery guy. But Tyler O'Neill kind of replaces Alex Verdugo, has one more year of arbitration. A guy who is a better defender, he's a Gold Glover, and a guy who is a righty, has a little bit more pop than Verdugo.
Yeah, and has the potential of even hitting. And look, his last 2 years haven't been great, but both those years he played less than half a season. So that tells me that he was injured at some point, and he was injured most of the time. Because his last full season, which granted was 2021, but I think that since he's young, I think it's not stupid to think that he can play a full season for the Red Sox, stay healthy, and bounce back to his upside, which he showed in 2021, which was around 280, 30 home runs, and I think he drove in over 100. And maybe it won't be at that level, but like between 20 and 25 home runs, like between 260 and 270 while playing really good defense. I like that move, and I think we're not stupid to think that he can do that for the Red Sox in 2024.
Yeah. Overall, I like it. I like this move a lot. He'll probably depends what they got a log. We'll talk about this a little later, but they got a log jam in the outfield.
Sorry, what was that?
They have a big log jam.
Yeah, that is a thing, especially since they're showing interest in Teoscar Hernandez, which again I don't hate, but I also don't love because he's another outfielder, and we have a lot of outfielders, and it is a bit of a logjam. And I kind of want to just hope that we're at least having guys play positions that they're comfortable playing and not very clearly uncomfortable playing. Kike Hernandez last year at shortstop. So yeah, I think that's a bit of an issue, but I think that. I know that O'Neill's played center and left, and it seems that so that's two outfield positions that he has experience with. So I think that it is a little bit of a problem, but in a way a good problem to have and not a huge problem.
Yeah. Do you want to just go through the moves that have been made for the Sox, and then I'll hit my thoughts later.
Okay.
But okay, Cooper Criswell, 1 year, $1 million.
Yeah, that didn't matter. Like I don't.
Then a big boy, Lucas Giolito. Red Sox signs with the Red Sox for 2 years, $38.5 million, with a player option after the first season.
Is that or is it an opt? Are player
Same
options
thing.
and opt-outs the same thing?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay, all right.
Basically.
That's what I thought.
Or opt-outs more if it's like a longer term contract.
Okay.
It's kind of like,
but they're pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, kind of. But player option is basically, that's what Turner had.
Okay.
Turner
Okay, he
has-
had that's what I thought. Because I think I remember you saying he had a club option, but I remember what you said,
No.
but no, it was a player option. I get that. Okay.
And then if he does pick up his player option, he has a conditional option in 2026. Basically, the threshold is 140 innings pitched, which he's done a lot.
Yeah.
A $14 million
He's an
club
innings
option.
eater. That's another big thing.
He's an innings eater. That's huge.
That's important. I really like that.
$14 million club option if he pitches under 140 innings. But then if he pitches under 140 innings, it's a $14 million club option. But if he pitches over 140 innings, it's a $19 mutual option.
Which means that both parties need to say yes.
Both sides have to say yes.
Both sides need to say yes in order for him to pitch in 2026.
Correct.
If either side says no, he's leaving. He's not returning to the team.
Exactly. I like this. This is a step in the right direction.
Finally address.
But they need more.
Yeah, I know. I know. And I think especially with shedding some of the payroll in Chris Sale, I feel like we're setting something up here. I'd be really surprised if we do nothing from now. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I think something's got to give. Something's got to give, especially since we've shed enough money to where we have $40 million left we have around $40 million left to spend under the luxury tax, $38 million, but that's good, especially since like I can't see like a good starting pitcher on the market asking for more than $30 million. I have trouble fathoming that, especially guys like Snell or Montgomery, because I just don't think they're at that level.
No. They have to. There's something. You know what? I'll get in the outfield. Something's got to give. Look at your outfield depth, right?
Yeah.
You have Yoshida, Tyler O'Neill, Cedar Rafaela, Jaron Duran, Willie Abreu, Rob Refsnyder. That's 6 guys.
Yeah.
For 4 spots,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. They got to trade someone.
Yeah,
they have to.
They have to. Uh-huh.
Get a young, maybe like an Edward Cabrera,
What's Edward Cabrera? Is he
starter for the Marlins.
okay?
Miami's a pitching factory. They
Yeah, Miami's
like
a
to
pitching
develop
factory, and I'm pretty sure they're fine.
But Cabrera has control issues, which he's still a project. Mm-hmm. But a guy I think like Andrew Bailey can help him. By the way, with Giolito, he was having a solid season. Right?
Yeah. I know. I saw the tweet. I saw a tweet like apparently he was having a good first half, but then he got a divorce in the middle of the season.
It was a bad divorce.
I would think considering that. It would have to be a bad divorce. I was talking to my dad about this, considering the fact that it happened in the middle of the season. I feel like if you're a major league ball player, you would try to get the divorce done after the season. You try to tell your wife, hey, can we figure this out after the season ends because I need to be playing baseball? But apparently it was that messy to where they had to do it in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it doesn't help when he's on 2 other teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think... would I say it's an excuse? No, but those are kind of good reasons as to why he pitched that poorly.
It's not an excuse, but at the same time, it's a contributing factor.
It's a contributing factor, and I feel like since that's not going to be the case, it's smart to think that he can bounce back with the Red Sox.
I also saw something that said, like, Bayo and Giolito had terrible 4-seam fastballs after the All-Star break, or in the second half. Mm-hmm. And Andrew... A lot of what's gonna happen with the Sox is gonna come down to Andrew Bailey. Mm-hmm. He's really gotta fix guys like Brian Bayo, Giolito, Houck, Whitlock, the pitching staff.
Yeah.
Whatever he did in here's an example. Sean Manaea had a very solid season for the Giants. You know why? Andrew Bailey taught him a sweeper.
Wait, when did Sean Manaea pitch for the Giants?
You don't remember? He pitched against the Red Sox.
When he was on the Giants?
Remember? In the game we lost in...
Was it this season?
Yes, we lost.
Oh, he was the pitching coach for the Giants this season?
Not Manaea. No, Andrew Bailey.
Oh, okay. And
Yes.
he taught him... Oh! That's actually good because I think the Giants had a decent staff and some good guys. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a low key good hire. And that's another which I think a coach. I mean, that may not seem like a big difference, but I really think it is. Like having a good pitching coach because I think coaching makes a big difference. So yeah, Dave Bush, especially considering Dave Bush, I just did not think was a very good pitching coach. He oversaw. When did he become the pitching coach in 2020? I remember the first time I saw him was 2021. Like he oversaw some bad.
I think it was
bad
21.
pitching.
Who was it in 2019? Dana Lavandri?
Mm-hmm. And then he got reworked or something.
He's in a different role.
Yeah, he's in a different role. But anyway,
2020, I don't know.
But yeah, the fact that you told me that Andrew Bailey taught Sean Manaea how to throw a sweeper, that means that he can make a big difference and maybe make the right tweaks to stuff like Bayo's fastball and Giolito's fastball.
Correct.
So yeah, that's a good sign. Definitely is.
I like it, and something's got to give too. Mm-hmm. In the outfield,
it all just makes too much sense for something to give now. They have $38 million left to spend.
And the prospects, because with Vaughn Grissom, he's a guy who he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Middle infielder, probably better at second base, but then Story's at short.
Yeah.
They got the second baseman they need.
Yeah.
And it's time to get... And I was telling you before, right? If they get someone like Snell, right, and they get a Paxton... Because another thing is they're very right-handed heavy in pitching.
Yeah.
Like their best lefty's probably Brennan
It's the opposite of
Bernardino.
their hitting.
Oh, it's...
The pitching's
Yes.
the opposite of their hitting in terms of that.
Absolutely. So if they sign a guy like Snell and a guy like Paxton, and they trade for a guy like Jesus Luzardo...
Is Luzardo another starter?
Yes.
Okay.
Starter with a lot of upside.
Okay.
Right?
Is he made a lot? Is he like a fortified? Is he a bona fide major leaguer, or is he kind of
Bona fide major league.
Okay.
But the one thing, he's only pitched over 100 innings twice.
Okay. All right.
But still, he has
That
the
adds
stuff.
depth. It really does.
Right? If you do trade for a Luzardo, right? You trade some of your outfield.
Yeah, because we
then
have a lot of outfield.
You're looking at a rotation of Snell/Montgomery, right?
who are pretty comparable. Pretty comparable. I think maybe Montgomery. I honestly think they're even, considering like you could say Snell's better because he's won 2 Cy Youngs, but at the same time, like Snell's been a little inconsistent because they've been sandwiched in between seasons with ERAs over 4, while Montgomery's kind of had a bit more sustained momentum lately. So really, I honestly think that Montgomery and Snell are at equal levels, just when you take everything into account. But go on, what were you saying?
So their starting rotation could be, what I was saying, Snell and Montgomery,
Or, yeah.
Luzardo, Giolito, Bayo, Paxton.
And you can have
Meaning
like
guys like
Pavetta and Crawford can be like
Crawford, Whitlock, Houck,
can be
or if
depth
they're a part of
guys.
the trade, that's
Yeah,
also fine.
yeah,
But that doesn't. And if they sign Teoscar Hernandez, you got the right-handed power in him,
Yeah,
right? So you're telling me you have a good lineup, you have a good rotation, you have
A really good bullpen.
and the thing is, it's not good for one season; it's good for seasons down the road.
Yeah.
So
A couple
wake
good-
up, a couple good moves, then we're back.
Yeah, we're ahead years. Like, this sets us up for years down the road.
Not to mention, you're gonna have more money when Sale completely comes off the books. Next season's very ace heavy. If you can sign an ace next off season
Yeah.
too, boom, you're ready.
Yeah. But, like, these things need to happen. Like, as we need to take it one step at a time, and I feel like the first of those big steps is getting that quality arm. A
Yes.
guy like
and
Montgomery,
actions speak
a guy
louder
like
than
Snell.
words.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
100%.
If I hear they're interested, like
And nothing more than that.
I think they're interested in me at this point.
Yeah.
Like I can throw, so I think
Yeah.
they're very interested in me. But anyways, anything else? I think we've been going for
Yeah,
a
but
while.
yeah,
we've been going for almost 30 minutes.
Things are looking up. That's the main point
Yeah.
that we're trying to make here, especially with what they've made so far. And the offseason's crazy, especially in baseball. Like, it's a roller coaster. The hot stove can be on high, then it can be on low, or it can just be completely off and nothing happens. And then 2 days later, it is on like 11 on the highest, over the highest it can be, and then it's back on medium low because. Like, just 8 days ago, Jason sent me a text saying that we're screwed. We're gonna have a miserable
feel like
year.
that.
We're gonna have a miserable year. This was right after the Yamamoto signing. He was mad. He thought he thought the Red Sox were done. They don't care. And now things are looking up. And he's saying that we're only a couple moves away from being legitimate contenders. And he also said in that text where one bad move could set us back years.
I mean, I wasn't wrong. At the same time, I think we're in the right direction because this signals there's more to come.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
It really does.
There's got to be more. Mm-hmm. Could happen in a day. Could happen in the next 5 minutes.
It's baseball. It
could happen in the next month.
It could happen
but
in the next
things
2
are
weeks.
moving. Things are heating up. That's basically
That's how it is in
right now.
baseball. Things
So, yeah.
move. They can move really slowly, but they move.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Nate?
Go Sox and let that hot stove keep cooking.
Go Sox.